All right. Hey, Vikings fans, welcome in to another episode of the Skol Hop. I'm Evan.
And I'm Austin.
We're just a couple of dudes from Iowa. We like drinking beer and talking about the Vikings.
Yeah, we do. And Evan, how do you think I did on that beer tasting game of yours?
I would give you a solid 500. I think you did all right.
Oh, man, you're too kind. We also spent a few minutes talking about who really was to blame for this 2025 Vikings season.
And I think we could probably disagree, and I think our argument probably could have been a little bit more developed. I don't know. We could probably sit here and talk about it all day, but...
Oh, yeah, we got a whole off season for it.
That's all right.
All right, well, to find out what we're talking about, go ahead and join us for episode 127 of the Skol Hop. Skol.
Skol.
All right, we want to say thank you to show sponsor That's Badass Wood Art for sponsoring today's episode. If you like the piece that I'm holding up here right now, it's their Skol piece, and you think it's pretty cool, you want to put one like this in your man cave, go ahead and check out their website. That's badasswoodart.com. They have pieces like this, along with tons of other pieces, and so many that you could even commission your own piece for them to make for yourself. And if you find anything you like, go ahead and go through the process of purchasing something, and then if you put in our promo code SKOLHOP, SKOLHOP, all one word, in the promo code spot, it'll get you 10% off any and all orders. That's, the Skol piece or anything already on his website or anything commission based too. So, yeah, check them out. We really enjoy them. Hopefully soon. I know we've been saying it for a handful of episodes now, but any episode now, you will see our own, huge, personalized, custom Skol Hop piece on the set here. So check it out. And when we do get it up, be sure to follow us on YouTube and Spotify to watch the episode, and then you can see the piece yourself. So that's badasswoodart.com. Go check them out and use our promo code SKOLHOP. Thank you.
I'm excited for that. I'm also excited because we got some new cups here.
Yeah.
And this isn't a sponsor.
No.
But I think we should shout them out.
Yeah, so this is from a company, Top Cup.
Top Cup.
They sent us some, essentially what they are, I don't know if I can even say the name because it might be a brand, but pretty much solo cups in design, but they're nice.
They're aluminum.
They've got a really good coating on them, apparently. They say you can easily reuse them up to 10 times. And these ones are Vikings related. So, again, if you're not watching the episode on YouTube, go ahead and check it out because you can see these cool cups. These are probably 16-ounce versions, maybe?
Yeah, there's something like
16, 22, something like that. Essentially, really awesome, better versions of solo cups.
So we should put some beer in these Top Cups, and the beer was also provided to us free. We're getting everything for free tonight. So you got some beer delivered to you from
we've had them before. It's a little brewery that we like a lot. They're called Titonka Brewing Company. They're out of Titonka, Iowa, which is about as north and mid state as you can get. I'm pretty sure they're really close to the Iowa-Minnesota border. But yeah, right smack dab in the middle of the state there. They sent us a handful of beers. I don't know.
Yeah, it was probably about a year ago.
Yeah,
I would say.
And we've been following them ever since. We live pretty far away from them, so it's kind of hard for us to get their beers often.
We're gonna get there though.
We do need to, maybe on Brew Hop 3.0, which should be this summer if we're planning things out right. But they posted some cool hats, and I'm wearing one right now. I reached out to them, said, "Hey, can I buy one of your hats?" And they're like, "Yeah, but can we send you some beers? And we were like, yeah. So
for sure.
So the good people over at Titonka, they sent us a couple different styles of beer, and Evan and I are going to try them both on the episode tonight in these cool Top Cup cups. But we're going to flip-flop which ones we're trying first. So, Evan, what's the one that you're going to try first?
I've got Titonka's Klondike Vanilla Porter, which one of the first beers I vividly remember having with you was a vanilla porter. So I'm excited to try that.
Yeah, hopefully this one is a lot better than the one that we tried. And the one we tried, first ever beer we ever tried, was pretty good too. I'm excited to try both of them, but the one I chose first was I believe it's the 40 watt American Lager. This one is a 4.2%er, 16 ounce. It says quality small batch brew. The can's really cool. That is one thing I remember the last time Titonka sent us some beer. Like, their can art is well thought out, and it's pretty cool. And on top of fantastic beers, I think we tried an Oktoberfest and an IPA and a few other beers last time, and they all were home run beers. So I can't wait to try these ones out.
Well, let's pour them up. Let's see what they're all about.
Oh, Evan's already tipping his cup over here. But yeah, I'm really appreciative of Titonka. Seems like they've kind of followed our show a little bit here. Oh man, I hope I don't.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's tough when it's not glass and you can't see where the foam line is.
So I am remembering now, I believe he sent along some instructions when he sent this beer. He made sure to let us know these are unfiltered beers, and to try to give them, a non-aggressive roll before we open and pour them in.
You failed to mention that.
I failed to mention that. I'm just now remembering that. He also, I think he alluded to the idea that they may be, when we open them, a little foamy, which is a good thing. I think,
you want some foam in your beer.
You do want some head retention. We mention that all the time. The only downside I'm seeing of these Top Cup cups is I have no idea
how much beer
is in my cup and how much it is foam. But we can be a little patient and
let's Skol it up. Let's give our initial taste, and then we can finish pouring.
Skol.
Don't get the clink. But what we lack in clink, we make up for in beer flavor. That's a good beer.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
This vanilla porter, you're going to like it when we switch here in a little bit. That's really good.
All right, well, tell me about it.
It's smooth, but it's also malty. And you know me, I like malt, and I like the flavor of beer. So this hits the spot for me. It's not overly sweet. It's not like the vanilla just takes over. The vanilla's there. It's subtle, but it's a good beer. I think you're going to like it.
Yeah, and yours, the vanilla porter says it's a 6.3%er.
Yeah, got a little bit of a kick to it, but
pretty solid.
You can put a few back and be okay.
This lager is a full-flavored lager. This one, even at 4.2%, you are drinking a beer, and it is delicious. This isn't like some watered-down, mass-produced, water of a beer. This is a very full-flavored lager. I like this one a lot. Evan, I know your go-tos are the darker beers, and lagers. I think you can take them or leave them, but I think you're a fan of
I'm just a fan of beer in general.
As far as the cheap beers, you're a fan of a Coors Light or something like that. This is the 10,000 times better version of those cheaper, light lagers. This is a very full-flavored, very delicious lager, and I really like it a lot.
Well, I'm excited to try that one. I don't want to take anything away from Titonka because they've generously donated the beer that we're drinking tonight. But I had a little bit of a wild hair.
Okay.
And I went a little bit rogue.
Oh man.
And we're gonna play a game.
Is this like Saw? Or you'd like to play a game?
But in order to play this game, you're gonna need to move your laptop because we're gonna need the space right in front of you here.
All right, I'm scared, Evan. What are you doing to me?
And also just, a little bit of a peek behind the curtain. We have our camera in front of us that we're recording with. So if you're watching us on video, you'll see our camera. And we usually have a TV right to the right of us where we just kind of monitor the camera and make sure that everything's good. I have to turn that off, which is kind of terrifying because, when we can't see the video and make sure that it's recording right. We never know if it's recording, but I'm going to turn it off because you can't see what I'm about to do. What I'm about to do is I'm going to put a box in front of you.
Okay.
What's
in the box?
What's in the box? Inside the box are going to be 4 beers. 4 beers that we've had on this show. And again, not to take anything away from Titonka, maybe take a few more sips of that. But these 4 beers are going to have a straw attached to them. You might have seen this on TikTok or Instagram. Okay. I want you to try to guess what the 4 beers are. And I'm going to give you some hints along the way.
Okay.
Okay, we're back. We had some technical difficulties there. All good. Nothing big. But while we were away, we added the slate of beers, the 4 beers that I was mentioning before we broke there for a second.
All I see are straws here.
So, yeah, this is the trend right now, and I've been wanting to do this for a while.
Okay.
And I kind of just went out on a wild hair, and I'm like, we're just going to do it. Why not?
Throwing darts, man.
So I got 4 beers in there. 4 different beers that you've tried on this show. They're all Iowa beers. I have right here on my phone an exact picture replica of what you, the audience, are seeing and what Austin will be drinking. I'm going to try to give you some hints along the way. But I think you should just start trying some beers. And
oh, no, not that.
Let's see if we can figure them out.
All right, so let's try it. So,
go ahead.
So we've tried all of these on the show. Any of them recent?
One of them was pretty recent, like definitely this football season.
Okay.
One of them is just a staple. Like,
okay.
I think if you taste that one, you're gonna get it right away. One of them was a beer that we had pretty early on. Actually, 2 of them I think are beers we've had pretty early on the show, and one of them we had with a guest.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Those are my initial clues.
Okay, there's no like gags in here, are there? I'm not gonna drink straight up like.
Nope. There's.
Like
I promise you.
Something.
And,
okay.
and audience at home, you can see there's nothing in here,
now,
and all I did was crack the beers and put the straws in. That's all I've done.
All right, I'm trusting you, Ev. All right, I'm just gonna dive in to my immediate right.
Okay. Paint me a word picture. What do you taste?
Oh,
what kind of beer is it? What do you think?
That's kind of hoppy.
Okay. I think that's a good initial flavor.
Okay. All right. Am I trying to guess like the brewery and the type of and the beer and everything?
You can guess anything, or if you want to just try all 4 and then kind of backtrack.
I'm gonna try them all 4.
Okay.
That one's pretty hoppy, pretty.
Okay.
I'd say almost hazy.
So beer number 1 is hoppy, hazy.
That's interesting. It's kind of oh man.
I love that one has a clear straw too.
Yeah, I'm trying to see. They are all beers, right?
Everything's a beer. Yep.
Okay. All right.
They're all things that we've had on this show.
Okay. All right.
Every single one is in our beer list.
Beer number 3.
Beer number 3. Here we go.
Okay. Well, it's kind of a giveaway, or it's not a giveaway, but it's helpful to know we've had them on the show. So they are Iowa brewed beers.
Mm-hmm. Everything's Iowa brewed.
Oh, yeah, that's an IPA right there. 1 and 4 are definitely IPAs.
Yeah, you're correct with that.
I'm going to say 4. Is that Big Grove's Arms Race?
Ooh, no, it's not.
Oh, man.
It wouldn't be a bad guess, but I think when you find out what 4 is, you'll be like, yep, that's what that is. It might be one of your favorites. He's going back for more. We're really quiet right now, but that's okay.
I know. Yeah,
that's
we can
right.
maybe put some music or something.
The white space is good.
Yeah, that's not Pseudo Sue, is it? Is it Pseudo Sue? Okay, all right.
Number 4, Pseudo Sue.
That's surprising. Okay.
You got it.
All right,
Yep.
So Pseudo Sue, I'm definitely taking that one for sure. We may be, splitting some of these.
Which you just did number 2 again?
No, I did number 1 again.
Oh, number 1 again. Okay.
Okay.
I'm looking here. Yep, we've had number 1 for sure. Okay. It was a long time ago, but we've had it.
All right. I don't think I'm going to do very well on this, Ev. I'm already feeling it.
You're 1 for 1.
Well, no, because I guessed wrong.
Okay. You've got one, though, on 2 guesses. You've got one on 2 guesses.
I just know both of these are IPAs. This is Pseudo-Sue.
Move to the middle 2 for now. Let's see if we can narrow those down a little bit. What style do you think that one is? The one you just had. Clear straw. It's beer number 2.
Is that a porter?
It's not a porter.
Man, I'm going to do so poorly on this.
It's all right.
Oh, man. All right.
So I tried to get 1 beer from your wheelhouse and 1 beer from mine.
Okay.
And that's all I'm going to say on that. You've already guessed the one from yours.
Well, that's an amber then, for sure.
It is an amber beer.
Right.
Yep. I love a good amber.
Is it a Millstream?
It is. Yeah.
Is it their Brow House or whatever it's called?
That is the Chilled Brow Amber Bill.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
We'll give that to you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're shooting like 500 right now.
Oh, you're giving me a lot of grace here. At the risk of just keep guessing it, is number 1 the arms race?
It is not.
Oh my gosh.
Nope.
Okay.
So there's no arms race in here. Although that would have been a good one to get. I didn't see that one on the shelf when I was picking them off the shelf. I was at the other Hy-Vee tonight. I was not at our normal Devil's Glen Hy-Vee. So I'll give you another hint here. The first time we had friend of the show Forrest on, we had one of the remaining 2 beers.
Oh man, I'm trying to think because I actually just listened back to that episode not terribly long ago, and we had because the first time he was on, he came on and he brought the beers.
He brought the beer,
and I'm pretty sure one of them was a Lion Bridge yard sale. Mm-hmm. Is that what this is?
Which one do you think is the Lion Bridge yard sale? Yard sale.
Yeah. Is it number 3? No, come on.
Oof. No, you already guessed 2. 2 is the amber. That's the Chilled Brow Amber from Millstream.
Yeah. Okay. So then number 1 is the yard sale.
That's it.
All right.
Yep.
All right.
You got it.
You are giving me so much help on this.
You got it. Well, I mean, it's almost an impossible game. I feel like this one, number 3 here, you've gotten 1, 2, and 4. The third beer here is going to be the hardest. Let me see. I got to look through our list here and see if I can figure out when we had this one, because we had it recently.
Do you know? Could you tell me the brewery?
Yeah, it's Confluence.
Oh, I'm trying to think now which Confluences we've had.
We've had quite a few. We've had 4 Confluence in our show. One of them was hang on. We've had 3 Confluence.
Okay.
One of them was a collaboration. So technically 2. This one is Confluence by itself.
Okay. Man, now I'm just trying to think of Confluence beers. Is this because all I'm thinking is like the Extinction Event, which that's an IPA.
Nope, it wasn't that.
This is.
Describe what you're tasting.
Is it like it's a lighter beer, lighter flavor. Mm-hmm. It's like a Pilsner?
I don't know if this is no, it's not a Pilsner. Nope. I'm looking at the picture right now.
You know
it's
what?
Not a Pilsner.
I'm happy with how I did. I'm stumped on number 3. I won't be able to get it.
This is the Confluence Old Tavern.
Oh, I would have never gotten that.
I knew that was a little bit out there, but it's the Old Tavern light lager. Is that what it is? Yeah, light lager, premium light lager. I think it's kind of like an old style, like a Chicago old style kind of.
I just peeked. The can definitely makes it look like that. I'm very humbled.
You did.
I didn't come into it.
I think you did great.
I didn't come into it really cocky, thinking I'd go 4 for 4, no problems. I'm kind of upset that I didn't get Pseudo-Sue right away.
I figured I knew you would get the two end caps. I figured you'd get those right away just because they're very distinct and it's not like, we're not trying to hide anything here. All right, we're back. Which beer was your favorite?
I mean, yeah, without question, the Pseudo Sue was my favorite. They're all really good, and I'm glad to know that we've tried all of these on the show before. I don't remember trying the Old Tavern.
That was episode 110.
Oh, wow.
So that wasn't
that long
ago. That was October. That wasn't that long ago. But yeah, we've had all the other ones too. The Shield Brow. I guess we could do a quick.
Yeah, I mean, I remember,
Shield Brow was episode 13, so the Millstream Shield Brow. Mm-hmm. The Lion Bridge Yard Sale was episode 10.
Yeah.
That was with Forrest. And then I feel like we've had Pseudo Sue on a couple times, haven't we? Yeah, you had it a couple episodes ago. 121. We had that and Arms Race.
Okay.
And then we also had it way back on episode 4.
Okay.
So, yeah. We've had it a few times.
Yeah, it's one of the best ones there are. So that was fun, Ev. I really enjoyed that. Even though I'll say I failed. You say I did pretty good. I will say that I failed. I needed some help on all of them.
I'm gonna say you batted like basically 500.
I got the IPAs, their styles correctly, but man, I needed some help. That was still fun though, and it was beer.
The Arms Race, I could see how that would be tricky, especially since we're drinking other beer too, kind of in conjunction.
You're giving me a lot
of
grace, man. I appreciate it.
I'm just trying to build it up so that when it's my turn to do it, you're just as graceful with me because I'll probably
sours all the way around.
I still have one in the fridge upstairs that I never finished.
Is that the Tickle My Pickle? From what is it, Barntown?
Oh my gosh, Barntown! You make some good beer, but that one wasn't one.
Yeah, maybe we should have some Barntowns here in the future.
We should.
But yeah, good game. We'll keep that going, especially during the off season when there's not a ton of specific Vikings news to talk about, which is the case right now. There's not a ton of Vikings specific news. There's been a lot of like random, almost leaks / rumors that have come out about how the team feels specifically about JJ McCarthy. Obviously, we're still feeling the wake of Kwesi Adofo-Mensah being fired, and there hasn't really been any big splash since then. I think we're just now getting into the time when teams can franchise tag players, but I don't even know who the Vikings would theoretically be a reasonable franchise tag player for the Vikings to use that on this year. There's a lot of rumory, clickbaity type stuff out there, but nothing really of tangible value, I would say.
Yeah, agreed. And honestly, the biggest talker is going to be the quarterback thing, right?
Yep.
Like that has been the theme of Vikings football for the last, handful of years. And what are they going to do at that position? And we thought 2 years ago when they drafted JJ McCarthy that was it. That was all she wrote.
And it still could be. It doesn't feel like it will be, but it could be. I have faith.
It doesn't feel like it will be, though. And that's the thing. Like, we're sitting in this spot where it's like, well, all the rumors are circulating about, it could be Kyler, and it could be Mac Jones, and it could be Kirk Cousins makes his reappearance with the Vikings, and all this stuff. And I already shared my opinion on Kirk Cousins a couple weeks ago. Like I'm fine if he comes back. It'll be a developmental thing. It won't be we're going to win a Super Bowl behind him, but maybe he gets JJ McCarthy to that next step in his development. I don't know. We'll see. But we're right back where kind of we've always been, and it's kind of frustrating.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, every team, you're either searching for your coach, or you're searching for your quarterback, or you're searching for your GM. And on some level, it feels like the Vikings are in some form of all three. Mm-hmm. I feel like the coach is still pretty set. I'm still behind KOC. And I still am, me personally, as of right now, I'm ready to just keep rolling with JJ at least for 2026 as quarterback. Not that he shouldn't have any competition, not that it should just be 100% handed to him, but I think he should be, etched in right now as QB1 and hold that spot until he actually loses it. Not until he throws his 3 picks in a training camp practice and then they feel like they have to swap him out for Max Brosmer and roll with that just to save face. I don't know. But until JJ totally loses the job, I'm ready for him to venture in as QB1.
So let me ask you this question, because I've seen this kind of all over the place the last week or so, and I'm curious to know your thoughts. I think I kind of know where I stand with it, and obviously we all know where ownership stands with this.
Yeah.
But we may all land in different places on this discussion, and that's okay. Who do you think is to blame for the overall outcome of this 2025 season? And I mean, it could range anywhere from ownership, the GM, the coach, specific players. Who's to blame for this kind of really mediocre season that I would also just add, like Dustin Baker has called it, like they seem to be good, then mid, then good, then mid, then good, then mid. And this was definitely the like mid / like lower mid season for the Vikings.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy too when you think they had a winning record. Like,
well, they won the last 5 games of the year.
Yeah, which is not nothing. Yeah, J.J. McCarthy didn't come out in all 5 of those final wins and look like the Tom Brady, but I'll argue against a Packers team that didn't care about that game. We were at that game. They didn't, they sat most of their team and they didn't really put forth a ton of effort. But J.J. McCarthy against the Packers in the final game made some throws. He if you were to go back and look at the highlights right up until the point where he took himself out, which some people are saying he had like a bona fide broken hand in that game, which, shoot, if he did that with a broken hand, that's just making my point even better. But for the first half and first series of the second half that he did play, JJ looked good. Like he was flinging it. He made some really good throws, some decent decisions, was running around. He still had that little leg flip, but all that to say, in those final 5 games, I don't think he played all 5 of them. Definitely the Christmas game was a Max Brosmer 50-yard something affair. It's not like, again, JJ looked like Tom Brady in those 5 games, but he still started most of them, and the team still, to their credit, won 5 games to end the season, winning 5 straight games in the NFL, regardless of who your opponent is and what their motivations are. That's not easy. So give credit to that and to the wins that they got before then, because this team was injury riddled this year. It was decision riddled. It made some poor decisions on every field, every tier of the team. There were poor decisions made. But long story short, for my answer to your question, who is to blame for the poor season? First and foremost, for me, it's J.J. McCarthy, which might sound a little weird because I'm sitting here giving him a little bit of praise. But, I mean, even with the praise I'm giving him, there's no secret. He didn't look great. He had some of the worst games a quarterback has ever played in Vikings history, some of the worst games a quarterback has ever played in NFL history this season as the starter. He also, this is not an excuse. He would have been bad, fully healthy, I think, this year. But he was dealing with some injuries. He missed, what was that, a 7-game stretch, 6-7-game stretch where he had an ankle. And then the game or two where all of a sudden he, mysteriously went into the concussion protocol on Tuesday after a game. It just felt like a mess up of a season, and I think if JJ had just consistently looked good and made good throws and was able to take whatever like footwork notes that were given to him and actually look like a Sam Darnold type quarterback, which is asking a lot, then this season would have gone way better, and a lot of the decisions would poor decisions would have been looked over, and Kwesi Adofo-Mensah probably still has a job, for better or for worse. But yeah, I think he's not the only one to blame, but first and foremost, a poor first starting year for J.J. McCarthy is the first thing you have to look at when you're talking about why this season was so poor for the Vikings.
So upon further review, Carson Wentz started 5 games for the Vikings, 3 before the bye, 2 after the bye. And that's when J.J. McCarthy came back to start. Now, I think J.J. played in some of those games, especially after the bye.
I don't know that
Did he?
I don't think J.J. played unless he started. I don't think he came in off the bench at all. I think there was a game or two where he was he dressed as the emergency quarterback.
Okay.
But I don't think he ever actually got on the field without starting the game.
So, yeah, you're probably right. So, anyways, Carson started week 3, 4, 5. Week 6 was the bye. And then Carson started week 7 and 8.
Which those were, well, no, never mind. Those were the 2 games. Or were those the London and Dublin games?
No, Cleveland and Pittsburgh, week 4 and 5, right before the bye.
Oh, okay.
Were the London and Dublin games. Dublin first, then London, and then the bye, and then Carson came out after the bye and played week 7. And I think we were kind of banging the table for. I could probably make this bigger if I was.
Who was week 7?
Carson Wentz.
What
against the
team?
Lions.
Against the Lions?
The Lions.
Interesting, because I thought J.J. McCarthy played.
This is just what Google Gemini is telling me.
Oh man, you can't always trust the AI right now.
I don't. I'm just going off of what it's telling me, dude. I don't know. It feels pretty accurate to me.
This is great radio, because I really thought, because that was the first Lions game, was when JJ threw that clutch pass to Jalen Naylor with a minute 20 something left to ice the game, and it was on 3rd or 4th. Yeah, I know what Gemini's saying, but ladies and gentlemen, don't always trust what AI is telling you, because it's not always accurate. J.J. McCarthy started that first Lions game. He didn't play in the second Lions game because that was on Christmas on Netflix, and that was the Max Brosmer where he threw for 50 yards or something.
So this might be.
Yeah.
Gemini might be pulling from multiple seasons. Now that I look at it, I'm trying to process it all all at once, and this isn't the right season.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
No, you're right.
But anyways, to go back to the question, who is at fault? I think, yes, there were lots of people that made a lot of poor decisions and played poorly and were injured and whatever excuse you want to give. But I think all of that, or lots of that, could have been glossed over and forgotten about and overcome. Excuse me. Man, I'm burping like crazy. A lot of that could have been overcome if J.J. McCarthy had just had a better season. You can outperform an injured left tackle if you can throw the ball quicker. You don't have to get sacked all the time. And yes, I'm saying that as a guy that's never played football past sophomore year and that's never started a football game ever. So, but if you got to think, if the defense was better against the Eagles, 22 points that the Vikings offense scored could have won. If the Vikings had done anything against the Chargers, they wouldn't have been blown out. If they had done anything against the Falcons, that 22 points that the Falcons scored, they could have overcome those points. So if J.J. McCarthy had been Sam Darnold, then you're probably overcoming a lot of those other poor mistakes. So first step for me, J.J. McCarthy. Evan, who do you think is the main reason that it was a poor season?
First, I would go back and just correct. In our house, we call it Gemini, not Gemini, but Gemini. Okay. Gemini was wrong. Gemini was right in that Carson Wentz did start 5 games for the Vikings, but Gemini had the wrong 5 games. I think it pulled from the 2024-25 season, not the 25-26 season. So Carson Wentz's first start was week 3 against the Bengals, and that was
a blowout.
That was the 48-10 blowout. But But the week before it was the 22-6 blowout against the Falcons.
Yeah.
That J.J. McCarthy started. But he played through. Carson Wentz played through the week. What would that be? Well, that was week 5, 7, 8. Week 8 game at the Chargers.
Okay, that Thursday night game.
I think Carson Wentz started that Thursday night game against the Chargers. Not a great game for the Vikings, 37-10. And then Carson Wentz came out, or not Carson Wentz, J.J. McCarthy came out and won against the Lions in week, whatever that was, week 8, week 9.
Yeah.
And we'd all been pounding the table at that point, like, put somebody else in, you know? So, stat correction. We've got that straightened out now. We kind of know. We have the context. We're good.
We didn't even need our stat guy, Dennis.
Yeah, he probably would have corrected us.
If you've already commented, please don't delete that comment.
Yeah, keep it in, because we're just a couple of dudes who don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, we've had several sips of beer at this point.
But to answer your question, I think you did pretty well answering the original question. Who's to blame? You said J.J. McCarthy. And I don't disagree with you. The product on the field is what ultimately matters, right? When it comes to wins and losses. And the quarterback is probably one of the most responsible positions for the product on the field. So you're not wrong, I would say, to say that he's to blame. But I'm gonna backtrack a little bit and say it's got to be coaching and management. You know, like they're responsible for putting those players on the field, and they're responsible for the coach is responsible for calling the plays for the players on the field and developing the players on the field and equipping the players on the field to successfully navigate the ups and downs of an NFL game. And I think what we're experiencing right now is maybe a little bit of a behind the curtain to what's really the reality in the NFL right now. And we don't see this a whole lot, where there's kind of this dissension between the GM, the coach, and the quarterback. Arguably the three most important individuals in an NFL organization. And I think there was dissension in those three roles this past year. I don't think your GM, your head coach, and your quarterback were on the same page ever. I don't think that ever happened this Vikings season. It may have happened in the past, right? It may have happened with two of the three in that triad, but I don't know that this particular football season we ever saw that happen.
Yeah.
And we saw KOC put Carson Wentz out there kind of as this sacrificial lamb to just like, well, we're just going to buy some time and see what happens. And Carson Wentz, I said it last episode, I think, Carson Wentz was the best quarterback that played football for the Vikings this season.
Which is awful. You're right, but
it sucks to say it, but I think I'm right. And I think J.J. McCarthy can be a good quarterback. I don't think he'll be a great quarterback. I think he can be a good quarterback. I think he can be probably Kyler Murray level.
Funny you say his name.
Well, it's kind of intentional. I think he could be maybe a Baker Mayfield, like at his max. Like I think he could be a playoff caliber quarterback if he can figure out how to manage a game. But I don't know that he's a Super Bowl caliber quarterback. I don't know that he's an NFL MVP caliber quarterback, and I don't know that he's a Pro Bowl quarterback.
I'm surprised you said the words Pro Bowl.
Well, that doesn't mean a whole lot right now either.
Nothing. Shedeur Sanders is apparently a Pro Bowl quarterback.
And so is Joe Flacco at 40 whatever.
Yeah, but not when he was winning the Super Bowl.
So I've dodged the question a little bit. If I were to blame somebody, just flat out who's to blame to answer that question, I'm going to do an Austin, and I'm going to non-answer that. And I'm just going to say it's kind of a combination of all three. I think it's a combination of Kwesi for misidentifying the talent. I think it's KOC for mismanaging that talent, and I think it's JJ McCarthy for not rising up to the expectation of being the Vikings quarterback, or just simply being a starting quarterback in the NFL, period. Yep. So it's a non-answer, but it's also, I think, kind of what gets down to the core of the problem. And maybe I think my opinion is, and we can talk about this a little bit, I guess, I think Kwesi was kind of the scapegoat of the whole thing.
I
think he was the fall guy for it all, and I think he was actually a pretty decent GM. We knew he struggled drafting, but I think he did well bringing in players from free agency, and I think he had a good business mind. And I think he was an okay GM. People out there might disagree with me, and that's fine.
I would disagree, but respectfully.
I said okay. Yeah, I didn't say he's like, Robert Kraft or, these... Robert Kraft is an owner, I guess. He's not a GM, but he's not this Super Bowl winning, dynasty leading GM in my mind, but I don't think he's the bottom of the barrel. He's never going to get a job in the NFL type of GM either. I think he'll get a job somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll be interested to see what he does next, because it may not be football. He may move on and be extremely successful outside of sports. I don't know. Or, he may end up becoming a GM again and winning Super Bowls. You never know.
It'll probably be against the Vikings, too.
Exactly. How crazy would that be?
The most Vikings thing ever.
Exactly. You mentioned something a few times there, talking about the line of the GM, coach, quarterback, and how that needs to be in tandem. And I'll argue a little bit. I think you're right. I think those three need to be in tandem. But I think the most important parts of that are GM, coach. And you said it a few minutes ago that maybe at one point the GM and coach, Kwesi and KOC, were on board and in line with the quarterback of JJ McCarthy. But I think along some way, and obviously we don't know anything other than what we read on Twitter. We have no sources, but it's kind of evident when it's very clear that Kwesi absolutely was the scapegoat. He was the one that was blamed for everything. But and at least he's the only one that has lost his job so far, but that could change here a year from now. We could be talking about a new coach and a new GM. But I think on some level, after a certain amount of time, maybe the GM and coach stopped agreeing on the quarterback, and maybe that was when the other quarterback, the fill-in quarterback, Sam Darnold, started playing well. And it sure seems like KOC would have been happy keeping Sam Darnold. And I'll say it again, I've said 1,000 times. At the time, letting Sam Darnold walk was the right choice when they did it. Yes, it turned out to be dumb, and he made them look idiotic by winning the Super Bowl. But when they let him walk, he had just had two of his worst games as a Viking, and you're not going to move on from, your career defining move by drafting a first-round quarterback just because a guy had a pretty decent season but then ended up becoming what we all thought he was anyways before turning it around and winning a Super Bowl. But we couldn't have known. I think the real change was the GM was not going to be on board with moving away and putting a ton of assets and a ton of moves into keeping or trading for a way better quarterback after they had just drafted a guy in JJ McCarthy, and maybe the coach was not on board with that. So you see things like, hey, we're going to keep Carson Wentz on the field longer than he probably should be because we're not ready to throw JJ McCarthy out there. Or, hey, we're going to be overly sensitive. Whenever JJ McCarthy says, my head kind of hurts. Hello? Go see the trainers. Might be a concussion. And again, maybe that's not what's happened. I don't know. Maybe KOC was fighting for him to be on the field every second of his, season. But it sure seemed like KOC was not on board with fully jumping in with JJ McCarthy, and it took a full releasing of the reins to finally get JJ McCarthy to throw for some yards. Let him be like, I don't care how his feet look. Let him throw the ball. And that's just not the kind of coach KOC is. He wants to be in control, and we've seen him win a ton of games when he's in control. So Kwesi was definitely the scapegoat, and it probably should have happened sooner rather than later. But hopefully they're able to right this ship, and I don't know if they're going to go all season without a GM and have Rob Brzezinski be the interim for longer than expected, or if they're going to get a new GM right before the season, and then if they don't win multiple playoff games, then the GM's going to be like, hey, I need a new coach and a new quarterback because these aren't my guys. That would be definitely a most Vikings things ever.
Well, the most Skol hop thing ever is I'm going to switch beers here. I'm going to try this other Titonka beer that you tried. It's their 40-watt American lager. You hyped this thing up a little bit ago. So I'm excited to try this. And I hope that you're going to try your vanilla porter there, because that vanilla porter was top notch.
I'm very excited to try that. I'm still working on the pseudo sue that I was trying. But yeah, you're going to try that, and it's going to be a more flavorful light beer.
And we're going to be able to see we're going to be able to see it now because I'm pouring it into one of our clear
you're no
mugs.
longer using our cool top cup.
Well, I don't like to mix beer.
Yeah, I've never been bothered by that.
And we have more top cups. We have a lot more.
They sent us quite a few. Yeah,
we have a lot more top cups. But we'll wash that one. And this beer, though, it's kind of interesting to just see the color on this 40 watt here. It's light. It's kind of like your Bud Light or your Coors Light kind of thing.
Yeah, in color. Yeah, for sure.
But the head retention is strong. Like 2/3 of my mug right now is foam, which is kind of crazy.
I promise you, it's worth it. It is super good. Seeing it come out of the can is like almost clear, and that is by no means a diss on this beer. It is full of flavor. You're gonna like this one a lot. I'm excited.
And I don't judge a beer by its color.
Yeah.
Like I will drink almost any beer. It doesn't matter. Like I've had purple beers and green beers and blue beers and golden beers and brown beers. I've had everything.
All right, maybe you're influencing the beers that I'm going to have you try when I set you up for this blind beer game.
One of the beers that I wanted to get but didn't was the Crushberry Sour.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that.
Well, I remember early on in the show, like we'd only really ever had beers on the show that we were like, I like this beer.
Yeah.
And I wanted to like kind of branch out a little bit and like just take a risk and find a beer that we didn't like. And I think that's really only happened legitimately one time with that Barntown pickle beer that we referenced earlier. You liked it a little more than I did.
Yeah, it wore on me after a while though.
But eventually we both were like, nah, this isn't for me. And it was a gluten-free beer, and it might be for some people out there who want the alcohol of a beer but don't want the gluten of a beer. And
I didn't even know it was gluten-free.
It is. I still have one from that night because I only drank one. You drank two, and it was a 4-pack.
I think that's one that you didn't even finish. Is that right? Mm-hmm. And not to call you out, but
no, you called me out. That's okay. But anyways, yeah, I remember that Crushberry Sour. I bought it kind of as a joke, thinking to myself, and I'm pretty sure I bought a backup beer for that night. Like, if we totally crash and burn on this one, we've got this one, and we can drink it instead. But we liked it, and it was good. And I think when we went to Lionbridge, we both had it on tap.
I really thought that when we were there was the first time that we had it. But
really?
No, I think you're right. We did try it for the first time on.
I feel like we had it on the
podcast. But yeah, I think that is one that Lionbridge Crushberry Sour. That is one that I'm surprised that I like, because it is not a beer in my wheelhouse at all.
We've never had it on an episode here in my house, which is where we've only ever recorded episodes other than the brew hop tour.
So maybe you were like planning on a backup at the brew hop.
That could have been. But anyways, we had it on the brew hop. It was the first brew hop, and it was towards the end. I think that was our second to last stop on the first brew hop tour. Mm-hmm. We stopped there, and then we went to
House Divided
in Ely. But yeah, That was one. That was one that I was going to put in the box for tonight.
Hey,
for you.
I wouldn't have been mad. I don't know that I was expecting it, but I can tell you, if I had tried it immediately, I would have been like, "Oh yeah, I know exactly what that one is."
That was my first sip of this.
You just took a sip, yeah.
Of this 40 watt from Titonka. That's a really good beer.
Yeah.
That's super good.
Like a full flavor, light beer almost.
I wasn't expecting that, honestly. Like, I was kind of just expecting, just like your normal light beer, but there's a ton of flavor there. That's great.
I imagine somebody, because, the thing about breweries is, like, you always get the guy that, your buddy that only drinks, the Busch Light or something like that. And you want to get them out. And so they go to the brewery and they're always the one that's like, all right, what do you have that's like Bud Light? And most breweries, that's not what they're there for.
Yep.
But this one, you're going to try this. You're going to say, all right, what do you have that's like Bud Light? And they're probably going to recommend this one, and you're going to be surprised at how much you like this because there's so much more flavor and it's so much better. It's kind of like the idea of when you try a chocolate bar, it's good, but then you sprinkle just a little bit of salt on it, and it's like 10 times better. That's kind of this version.
I would agree with that. Yeah. That's a good analogy for sure.
You're just getting that high quality, low batch produced, small batch brew. It's just a really good beer, and I have yet to try the vanilla porter, but I will here in a few minutes.
Good stuff, though.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Ev, I feel like we're running low on things to talk about this week for the Vikings.
There's not a ton out there. I mean, I guess we could scour the internet, but
I think there's not much to talk about. There's a lot of Kyler Murray rumors. There's a lot of
Kirk Cousins rumors out there.
I'm not excited about either of them. Sure, Kyler Murray is a electric quarterback when he plays really well. Kirk Cousins has had his moments in his career. I just want JJ McCarthy to turn out. That's my ideal situation over either of those two. Ultimately, I want a Super Bowl. I want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl, and I feel like the best chance of that is if J.J. McCarthy turns out. And if you give him one more year and he turns out to be the next Anthony Richardson and nothing, then that's all the sooner that you can just move on and use a first-round pick to try to get a quarterback again. I feel like KOC has earned himself at least one more first-round pick quarterback if necessary.
Would you, if you were Vikings fan, Vikings player, Vikings GM, I guess, I don't know. Would you give KOC one more opportunity to go out and get the guy at a first round quarterback type of pick, or would you try to salvage that pick for something else?
Are you saying keep KOC and let him make that decision, or let him be a part of that decision, or move on from KOC too and then blow it all up? Is that what you're saying? Or I guess I don't know.
Maybe exactly that's kind of what I'm saying. Or where do the Vikings pick this year? 16th or 17th?
18th. Yeah.
18th. Okay, I was in the ballpark.
I'm not saying they're picking a quarterback first round this year.
But would you be an advocate for that? They pick a quarterback at 18th.
I don't even know who they'd get.
All in? Well, yeah. I mean, that's an interesting question this year with a kind of a low stock QB draft class this year. Or do you give him another season after this and hope that next year's draft he gets somebody?
I mean, I'm hoping they give JJ McCarthy one more year. I've said it a few times even tonight. I'm hoping they put all the chips in, give him every opportunity, take away all of the excuses, and really see what he's got. Because up until becoming a Viking, JJ McCarthy won everywhere he started. And yes, he was on elite teams. He literally played for IMG Academy, which is the high school football team. And he played for Michigan under Harbaugh, which, they had how many draft picks during the time that JJ McCarthy was the first, was the quarterback, and the national championship. In a time where JJ wasn't asked to throw for 500 yards a game to win that national championship. So yes, I know he had great teams around him, but great teams win Super Bowls. So the Vikings, if they're healthy, their offensive line on paper, is one of the better ones that are out there. There's probably more questions at center than at quarterback if JJ turns out to be good. I think you keep TJ Hawkinson if you can at a restructured contract. And I know I'm in the minority on that one. The receiving core is pretty good. Even if Jalen Naylor walks, you have the best receiver in the game of football. The defense with, another year, Brian Flores, that's just another great defense. So I think all of those are great reasons to keep JJ with no excuses. And, if you remove all the other factors and the only answer is JJ's good, so the team's good, or JJ's bad, so the team loses games, then and then you can roll into a year from now, 2027, either knowing, hey, JJ's good and we're building around him, or, hey, now we need to find that quarterback again. Rather than, let's sign Kirk Cousins for this year and have another question mark for a year from now with JJ. You just never know.
So are you saying it's more like it's outside of the quarterback position, like success in 2026 lies in everything else and not the quarterback position? And if we can figure out the other pieces, 2026 will be a successful year?
Well, I'm just saying the other pieces to me seem to be pretty good already. Mm-hmm. Running game needs some help, and O-line with the center and stuff needs some help. But for the most part, the Vikings are a good team until you look at the quarterback position. So I'm saying the opposite. Everything else I'm feeling okay about. And through free agency and the draft, you're just boosting up a team that is pretty strong in most areas and could probably use some help in some areas, but should be able to be boosted up between free agency and the draft as long as the quarterback position can figure things out. So JJ McCarthy, I don't know his personal status, but I don't know if he's set to be having a child mid-season this year,
Yeah.
Not that that's a bad thing. We're both dads. We both advocate for that, but I don't think that's going to be much of a immediate focus of his this season, this coming 2026 season. Hopefully, knock on Skol Men's Center wood, hopefully he's more healthy so we don't have a 6-game stretch where he has a high ankle sprain, which is apparently way worse of an injury than any of us could have imagined. I just think all of the other factors should be taken care of, so let JJ McCarthy show who he really is and let the team be good because of him, or really know, hey, he's the guy, or not be bad because of him.
I think a sneaky candidate for the most underperforming part of the team could be the defense this next year. And obviously it's way too early, but Brian Flores was almost gone and he's back, thankfully. We're happy about that, but the defense, you're going to lose Harrison Smith probably.
Probably.
Hopefully not, for
probably.
Sure. And I don't know how many other pieces of that defense will be gone 100% for sure, but I don't know. I think with all the drama surrounding the defense and with how heavily the Vikings relied on the defense this year, it might be one of those things where they really overperformed in 2025. They might underperform in 2026, and to be honest, they kind of underperformed in 2025 compared to where they were in 2024. And that wouldn't be because of Brian Flores. It wouldn't be in spite of Brian Flores. I think it would just be a natural consequence of, well, we brought you back and we also had to pay a bunch of other players to keep them, and you had to work with what you had, and you just didn't have the defense that you're used to having. It wouldn't be his fault necessarily, but it also wouldn't be in spite of him either. It would just kind of be one of those well, this is just how it is, and got to deal with it, and we got to pay guys on the other side of the ball too. So I think the defense could be a sneaky candidate for an underwhelming unit, and maybe one of the reasons why the Vikings aren't good in 26.
Well, I mean, if we look at the games in 2025 where it was a terrible game, the offense didn't play great, but it was the few times the defense didn't look good at all. So yeah, lots of interesting things to talk about as more dominoes fall this offseason. We're going to see some more answers come when it comes to the Vikings plan at quarterback, whether we agree with it or not. We'll have free agency come up here, I think really, 3-ish weeks from now?
Mm-hmm.
Let me double check.
I don't remember the timeline exactly, but apparently we're coming up on it for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't find the date. It's March. I think is it literally March 1st when the new league year starts. Yeah. Okay. March 11th. Gemini or whatever you want to call it. Gemini is saying. So we're less than a month away from that. The draft is late April, early May. And then we have a few weeks of sports abyss where there's nothing to talk about. Maybe we'll really lean deep into the St. Louis Battlehawks during that time. But yeah, plenty of things to talk about and speculate about. We'll definitely have friend of the show Forrest on here in a few weeks. We need to get friend of the show Dustin back on the show.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to jump back on with Brevin on Vikes Now again here sometime soon. Go check out that episode where I jumped on with him a few weeks ago. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, we've got a fun off season to look forward to. Yeah. And not to mention, we have a lot of purple punishments that we need to fill that slot. We need to get that wheel of purple punishments filled up with good ideas. So
yeah, we do.
Listeners, if you have some good ideas for that. Before we close it out, I did open up this vanilla porter from Titonka. Officially, it's called the Klondike Vanilla Porter. Titonka, thank you so much for providing these beers. Excuse me, I've got a lot of burps here. This vanilla porter, I can definitively say, is better than the one that we tried years ago from a very popular Wisconsin-based brewery that starts with the letter L. This one is
you're not going to name it because we know from last week that you don't like anything from Wisconsin,
and you apparently love Wisconsin.
No, I like certain aspects of Wisconsin.
Did you see that we may have been the pill of death for the other fast food restaurant that you mentioned?
No.
Wendy's announced that they're closing 100 stores. So good job, Ed.
Wow. I believe I prefaced everything with not to crap on Wendy's, but...
All right, well then I need you to say the words not to crap on Culver's.
No.
Ah, dang it. Okay.
Not gonna happen.
But yeah, rest in peace, Wendy's. They're probably going to be just fine, but they're closing a lot of stores.
Junior Bacon Cheeseburger is actually pretty good. I'll eat that.
Yeah, I'll allow it.
That's a good one.
But again, with this Klondike Vanilla Porter, it's fantastic. Of the two, I think my favorite is the 40-watt American Lager. But this Vanilla Porter is very close second. So thank you again, Titonka.
And that's kind of interesting because I like the 40-watt for sure, but this Klondike Vanilla Porter was spot on.
Yeah.
I loved it. And I would have a couple more of those if I could.
Well, I think the moral of the story is that Titonka just doesn't miss.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't wait to have more of their beers. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge.
We even got these sweet coasters from Titonka. They're great. And
they sent these
we got these little bison little squishy
balls.
guys.
Yeah. They're bison. They've got the Titonka logo. They're pretty cool. They hooked us up. I was pretty pleased about all that.
Thanks, Titonka. We appreciate it.
All right, Ev. I think we have squeezed every bit of juice out of this episode we can get. We really got it all out there. I had a lot of fun with the game. I can't wait to lead you in that game here, maybe next episode, maybe sometime soon. Where can people reach out to us if they want to keep the conversation going?
Just type us in on Google. I think that's the best way to find us, the Skol Hop. And you're going to find us anywhere. Also, the skolhop@gmail.com. You can email us. We've got a few things that we'll send your way, and even if we run out of those things, we'll get some more and we'll send them your way.
Yep.
So hit us up: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all the normal social media places. Email us, go to our website, theskolhop.com. All those places are there. We're here. We're not going anywhere. We love interacting with people and talking about the Vikings and drinking good beer. So,
yeah. And if I do want to plug merch too, we did kind of restart our TeePublic store. So if you go to teepublic.com and just search the Skol hop, you will find a few designs that we've got up there. Friend of the show, Blue, I think when we get our Badass Wood Art piece in, we may have something special for you. If you're watching on YouTube, you might have seen me point at it. So a lot of good stuff out there, and really just like and subscribe, comment wherever you are. We like to know where you are. So Evan, we've had a lot of great beers on this episode,
maybe more than we've ever had.
More individual beers other than the brew hops, because those were like 12 beer episodes, 10 beer episodes. So I really enjoyed it. We'll see if we can get the glass aluminum clink going, but I don't know, even without that, best episode yet?
Skol.